just in case somebody comes on here and watch this later. Don't talk about me. Y'all know I ain't the one to care too much what I'm looking like. I have to be up at 3 a.m. in the morning. I had to take that wig off. She's itching. And get ready to take my shower and go to bed. So I have to get comfortable. But I wanted to try this live thing for a minute just to see if anybody had any questions or whatnot that I could answer. Dang, this thing is hard to open. About training or domiciles or scheduling or anything that I could be leaving off. This is ridiculous. Leaving off. So someone inboxed me and dang it, wanted to address you by your name and I forgot to write it down to address you. But you asked me, you commented on my last video about my hours and whatnot. So I wanted to address the difference, between a line holder and a reserve. Again, just in case someone needed clarification. And then on one of the flight attendant groups, a young lady, one lady mentioned that she lives overseas and she wanted to know about how hard the commute would be. Then someone else wanted to know about who you work with and lines and stuff like that. But anyway, so reserve is what most flight attendants start off as. We know we all start off new. We the peons, we at the bottom of the barrel. We are reserves. And line holders like the fact that there are reserves because that means they can drop trips and it's going to go to a reserve. But they don't necessarily always like working with reserves because we're new, if that makes sense. But so once you graduate flight attendant school, no matter what, employer you're working with, 9 times out of 10, you're going to always be on reserve, right? So each airline is different. For mine, a reserve is guaranteed 76 hours a month. So if you look on a company's website and see what their hourly salary is to start, then you will multiply that times the max is, well, not the max, the minimum you can get paid is 76 hours. So meaning if you're on reserve and say you're on reserve for 5 days in a row and they don't call you not one time to work, to call you on a trip, you're still getting paid. If they never call you the whole entire month, which I've heard in Houston that you could be sitting on reserve for a month and never get used, your check is still going to reflect 76 hours regardless, right? So no matter whether you get on step 1 foot on the plane at all, you're going to get 76 hours for the month. And they're going to divide that by 2 because we get paid bi-weekly. That's how you can kind of figure out what your monthly salary is going to be if you don't work anything over the 76 hours. And then your per diem is your time away from base. Your time away from base starts from the moment you step on that plane and that main cabin door closes and you push away from the gate. You're gone. So if you're gone for 24 hours, if you're going for 78 hours, if you're gone for 80 hours, however long you're gone until you come back to your base, that is your time away from base. And that is how you get your per diem. With our airline, I believe our per diem is $1.95. It don't sound like a lot, but that can add up. It can be an extra $400, $500, $600, depending on how long you're gone away. Because say you're on a 4-day trip and you're gone 4 days, that's your time away from base. And then say you get stuck or your trip is delayed or you get laid over somewhere because of weather, that's your time away from base. So that's how that works. So you would figure out, I think I have a trip sheet. Hold on, let me get it. Well, I thought I had it. I thought I printed out my trip sheet. I wonder what I did with it. But anyway, so and you pull up your schedule and it tells you, okay, you have a trip on your schedule, and you print it out and it tells you, where is my freaking trip sheet? That would have been perfect. Um, it tells you exactly where you're going. It tells you you're leaving. You need to be at the airport at this time. You need to check in by this time. You need to be at this gate for this aircraft to take off. It tells you what time you're gonna take off, what time you're gonna land, how many hours you're gonna be, what hotel you're gonna be at, what time you're gonna be back at the airport the next morning, what time you're supposed to depart. And so, like, you know how, like, you ever flown somewhere and it says you have a departure time at 3:30? Well, like for our airline, we'll start boarding at 30 minutes prior to departure time, meaning the plane needs to be pushing away from the gate at that departure time. So, your trip sheet will have all that information. It will have the city that you're going to by airport code, the time you depart, the time you land, when you're coming back, how many hours is blocked at. So, like if you're traveling, say, to Houston or whatever, which is like a 2.5 hour flight, it may say you're blocked at 2 hours and 45 minutes or whatever. Sometimes you get there sooner, sometimes you get there later, just depends on the circumstances. And it tells you how much credit you're going to get for that trip. It'll tell you how much you're going to get from time away from base for the whole entire trip and for each day. It will tell you your position if you're forward, if you're the aft. Of course, the forward is first class and the aft is economy. And if you're on a 200, you're just by yourself, your everything. It will tell you if there's service on, if you need to. Now it will, it didn't. Now it tells you what type of service. It has a code on there. If you're going to do just beverage service, if you're going to do dinner, if you're going to do lunch, if you're going to do breakfast, it tells you everything needs to be done on that trip sheet. So you want to keep your trip sheets. You can always go back on your schedule and print them out. But every time your trip ends and you get off the plane in a couple of hours, your trip sheet updates with the correct credit, just in case you had a maintenance delay or what have you. So you just want to keep it so later on you can go back and compare it to your paycheck, so you can make sure they're paying you for all your hours and stuff like that. But your trip sheet tells you everything. So the guy asked, how many hours you're guaranteed a month. If you're on reserve, you're just guaranteed 76, point blank, period. Can you make over 76? Yes, you can. But it also plays a part of your schedule and how it is made. So as a reserve, we can only bid at our company if we're going to be AM or PM reserve. So for our company, AM reserve is 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. and PM reserve is 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. That's the only thing we have control over. You can bid for specific days off. So next month is February. So I already have some things planned for February. So what I'm going to try to do is bid for certain days off. But now I'm a line holder. I can bid for certain days off and I can bid for certain trips. As a reserve, you can only bid AM or PM reserve as well as days off. That's the only thing. So if you're lucky to get what you requested, then you know in advance for the next month what days you have off. It was hard for me. Hey, it was hard for me to You mentioned credits, so some flights are worth more credits. Oh yeah, definitely some flights are worth more credits because it depends on how far you're going. So like if I'm going to Chicago to Quincy, Illinois, which is a 20-minute flight, basically you don't even get up out of your jump seat. It's 17 minutes. That's it. No, Quincy, Illinois is like 30 minutes, but there's some places that we fly to that you don't even get up out of your seat because it's a 17-minute flight. Literally today, when I landed in Minneapolis, I had to deadhead to Duluth, where I'm at now. The flight was 15 minutes top. So your credits is for the whole day, and it's broken down by each leg. So if you have 3 legs in one day, it tells you how much credit you're getting for each leg, and then it sums up the total for the whole entire day. And at the bottom of your trip sheet, it sums up all days. So you can know potentially you were blocked at, say, 21 credits, meaning 21 hours for that trip of flight time. That's what you're going to multiply your hourly salary by. So if I'm blocked at 21 credits, then I'm going to multiply 21 times, I'm over the 6 months, so it's $18.77. So that'll be my pay, and then it'll have time away from base, and say your time away from base is 80 hours, then I would multiply the 80 times $1.95, and then combine those two, and that could be my potentially my paycheck before taxes and medical and all that other crap. And then your credits can also change. It can actually go up if you have maintenance delays or weather delays or what have you. You may have been blocked at, say, 5 hours for this trip for one day, but then some stuff happened and you might end up with 6 or 7 credits depending on what happens. So things change constantly. You can't really predict it. You can kind of get an estimate about what your check might look like, but you really can't say exactly what it's going to be. And then you got to factor in your taxes, your tax bracket, and what you put for your W-2s, and what insurance you chose, and how much money might come out. So, but that's a general idea of how you can calculate. I'm going to look one more place to see if I have that trip sheet. Yes, I have it. It was in my work bag. All right. Y'all, excuse me, I had no bra on. I took that wig off, and I'm looking real suspect and raggedy right now, but you know I don't look raggedy all the time. So this is my trip sheet for the trip that I'm on today. So I print this out. I didn't go to the crew lounge. I printed it out at home so I can know. So this trip sheet is how you can tell where you're working at. It has the trip number, it has my name, employee ID number, it has my legs and my days. So this is today, this is tomorrow. And then it has who I'm working with. And from your eFAD or from your computer, you can click on these names, and the person's picture will pop up. You can know who you're looking at, what the person looks like. So it tells me my flight number. I'm working Delta. It has the tail number of the plane. It has the aircraft I'm on. This morning I was on the CRJ 900. It tells me the airport that I've started from. I started in Houston, IAH. It has that. It tells me where I'm going, which was MSP. It tells me the departure time, the arrival time, how many passengers are booked. The block time, how many hours that they were blocked, for the trip itself, the credit that I'm going to get, the miles that we're flying, what type of service first class is getting, what type of service economy is getting, and the burn average for fuel. It tells you all that on here. It tells you the hotel you're staying in and their phone number, just in case something happens, you need to call the hotel shuttle or whatever. It tells me my total duty time, how many hours for the day, and how many hours I'm going to be laying over. So Um, so right here at the bottom, it gives you the total of how many for this 2-day trip that I'm going to be credited. So it has me credited 8 hours and 25 minutes worth of flight time. That means I was actually flying in the air for 8 hours and 25 minutes. And then my time away from base is 29 hours and 55. So I'm going to multiply the 825 times the hourly wage, and then the 29.55 times the per diem, and that gives me an idea of what I'm going to make just on this trip, just on this 1-day trip. But I'm getting time and a half for this because they needed somebody to work it, and it was advertised as a double time and a half. So I'm gonna get double time for this trip, and that's why I picked it up. It tells me who I was working with. So when I got to the airport, I saw the captain and the first officer. I knew what they looked like because I clicked on their name and saw their picture. And I keep up with these so that I can go back later and compare what they're going to pay me. So like the pay period is from the 1st through the 15th, and then the 16th to the end of the month. So there is a tab when you go into Swole, on your schedule. When you pull up your schedule, there's a tab that says crew pay, and when you click on crew pay, it breaks down. All this should be on crew pay, and it tells you how much they credited you for. And you always want to compare so you make sure they ain't trying to get over on you. So that's something else you have to do. That's as a reserve. Now, say you are in on reserve and you're in a bucket. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 day buckets. Legally, you cannot work over 6 days in a row. If you work 6 days in a row, you have to have 24 hours off before you can work again. So, and then after each trip, you have to have 10 hours of rest time. So, tomorrow, for instance, if I were to get in at 9 a.m., this is only day one for me. I can work 6 days in a row. This is only day one. So if I got in at 9 a.m., I had to wait 10 hours before I can work again. If I was on a trip, let's say it was 5 days, and after the 5 day, whatever time that trip ended on my 5th day, I have to wait 10 more hours before I can work again before I can work again. And then once I do 6 days in a row, I have to wait 24 full hours before I can pick anything else up. So what happens is when you are on reserve, sometimes you get put in these 4 and 5 and 6 day buckets, and it's hard to pick up trips because you want to pick up trips because you want to work, right? You want to make can you pick up time and a half trips on reserve? You can pick up whatever you want to pick up as long as you're legal for it. And that's what I mean by if you're off. So you're in a 3-day reserve bucket. So you're in reserve Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's only 3 days. And then say you off, you're on reserve Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then you're off Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Let's say Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Well, from your 3rd day off being off reserve, say you on reserve from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. At 9 p.m. on your 3rd day, you have to wait 10 hours after 9 p.m. before you're legal to pick up anything. So if there's something posted after 10 hours after your 3rd day, 9 p.m., you can pick something up. But it cannot go into your next reserve day. So you can pick up trips, and you can pick up what we have when you log into your Swole, your online portal. There's a tab when you open your schedule, and it says open time, and you click on it, and you can pick up trips in any of 20 of our domiciles. It doesn't have to be wherever you're based. I'm Dallas based now, but this trip is Houston based. I picked up from home. So you can go in open time and see what's available. There are certain colors, it's color coded, and there are certain ones that reserves can't pick up. Only crew support can assign those. And then there's ones that we can pick up. We can pick up trips. So like I'm a line holder now and I want to drop a trip. I would advertise it. It would show up in open time. Say you're off and you want to pick it up. All you have to do is call crew support and tell them that you want this trip. Give them the pairing number. And if you're legal for it, they will assign it to you and you can work it. So that's, you can pick up. You just have to make sure you have the days off. So when I was reserved, when I first started, I was trying to like play around and see what I liked, what I didn't like. I was first put on 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. reserve, and I hated it because I was in Chicago and there was no flights to go to Houston after 9 p.m. So I would always have to wait till the next day to catch a flight to go home. So I started bidding for 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. so that I can catch a flight. If they didn't use me after 4 p.m., I can go home. And then if they called me 9 times out of 10, I was going to be through with my trip early and I could go home. So that's why I bid 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. It was just more convenient for me. And I hated sitting around. Then I always bid for like 6 day buckets because I did not like sitting around in a crash pad. I wanted to work. There was a couple times that they didn't even use me. And I basically sat in a crash pad for 6 days and no flying. But for the most part, of the 8 months that I was in Chicago, they always used me. It was never ever 6 days in a row that I had a trip. Like they didn't call me for a 6 day trip, but I may have had a 5 day trip and then turns, local turns on day six. Then I started realizing, well, if I stay in 6 day buckets, I can't pick up anything. I need to be in 3 and 4 day buckets so that I can have 3 and 4 days off in a row so I can pick up extra work. But it was only a handful of times that I was able to do that. Check looked pretty good too. But that's kind of like you just never know because when you're on reserve, you bidding at at the very bottom. Everybody else going to bid over you based on your seniority, and it just may not work out. So you can never tell. You can't never plan nothing. It's just hard. You can't say, oh, my birthday is next month and I'm going to go put down a deposit on this hotel. I'm going on a cruise for 4 days. You're risking it because you don't know what your schedule is going to be, and you can try to bid around it to get those days off. And as a reserve, the only thing that you can do, since you can't drop trips, is trade with another reserve. So I created a Facebook group for my classmates. So what we did was in our Facebook group, and then there's several other Facebook groups. There's a reserve Facebook group for every domicile. So um, when we would get our schedule, and it was a day that I wanted, like I wanted my birthday, October 30th, I had plans. I was like, I have to work on my birthday. Anybody want to switch days? You can only switch reserve days with another reserve. And that's what you have to do. So you have to build friendships and relationships with these people because you're going to need each other to get through this first year. Switching days, trading days. I wanted AM. She wanted PM, but I got PM and she got AM. So we would switch, call crew support and say, hey, can I have AM? We're going to switch and you give me PM or whatever. That's the only thing that you can do as a reserve. Um, it says, are your work days always the same? No. This month, I'm working, all my trips start on the Saturday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all of them. So every Saturday this month, I have a trip that starts. It's either 4 days or 3 days, but I just have weekends. I don't care because I have so many days off in between. I've already picked up trips on those days off. It worked out for me because I had so many days off in between that I could pick up trips. So, as a line holder, let me see. Seriously, first of all, I'm a woman of a particular size, and I can't fit my one self in the lavatory, let alone trying to fit a second person in there with me. I can't move like that. I get Charlie horse trying to put on these compression tapes, let alone trying to bend in all kind of positions in a laboratory with a second person. Child, ain't nobody got time for that. So no, I am not a member. Not trying to be a member, and I ain't trying to lose my job for that. So no, I am not. But thank you for asking. Maybe you think I can fit in the laboratory, so I appreciate it. But no, I can't. So what was I saying? Um, you never know what days you're gonna work. Your days change monthly. You just never know. There's no way to plan shit at all because you just have no idea what your schedule is going to be. Now I know my schedule for January, so I've planned stuff, accordingly for January. On the 10th, bidding opens for us, so you can bid. Bidding opens on the 10th through the 17th. Bidding closes on the 10th. Now he know I'm doing this video and he's steady calling. Don't y'all hate when people do that? But bidding closes on the 17th at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. So you have to get your bids in before then. Then about the 20th or so, schedules come out for the next month, and you can go online and you can see what trips you got and what days you're going to have off. And then on the 23rd, it actually transfers over from our bidding system to your actual schedule. But as soon as those schedules come out, like around the 20th, everybody be screenshotting and posting in the group. Hey, I got this trip. Anybody want to trade? Can you work this? Can you work that? Whatever. So everybody does that. If you're a line holder, your destination is the same. Okay, so where you're based at, do you prefer longer legs or lighter, shorter legs? I like shorter legs. It just depends on the credit. If it's a high credit, like I don't like working anything under 20 hours to me. If I'm on the 200, which is only 50 passengers, I prefer shorter legs because trying to do beverage and snack on that 200 for 50 people. Sometimes you may have 45-minute flight and you have to do a full service on that flight. It could take you 45 minutes to do a service on there. So if I have a lot of legs and I have to do service on each one, that can make your feet hurt and make you tired. So if I'm on a 200, I prefer shorter legs. But if I'm on 700 or 900 or the E or J, depends on what cabin I'm in. I really don't too much have a preference, but I don't like being in the air no more than 3 hours and 30 minutes. That's good for me. Let's see. Destinations. So depending on where you're based at, depending on where you're gonna fly from. So like when I was in Chicago, I did a lot of I never went any further than Salt Lake City, although flying out of Chicago goes to LA, goes to Phoenix, and all that. I never got those trips, but I had classmates who got the LA trips. I did mostly East Coast. In Texas, in Dallas, there's a lot of Mexico, Santa Fe, Atlanta, stuff like that. So, Minneapolis. So it just depends on where you're based at, what kind of trips you're going to get, and where you're in destinations you're going to go to. So that all varies. Like Atlanta only used to fly the 200. So if you were based in Atlanta, you only going to fly the 200. But I just heard that they're now getting some 700s or some 900s. I think ExpressJet got bought out or went out of business or something like that. And so we accumulated a lot of their jets. And so I heard Atlanta was going to now start doing 700s or 900s in addition to the 200s. But there's some bases that only fly the 200. Houston only flew the 700 in Delta and United. And now they have the 7, the 9, and they just got some 200s. Dallas flies only American Airlines and only the 7 and the 900. There's no ERJ, there's no 200 in Dallas, just the 7 and 900 on American. So when I go to Dallas, I'll just be strictly flying the American airline planes. I bid for a forward because I like first class on the 700, because on the 700 plane in the aft, you got a passenger on this side and a passenger on this side, and this is your seat, and this is the lavatory. And sometimes, depending on this, a big guy over here and a big guy, you like this here. I don't want to be smushed up between two people and the lavatory right behind me. So I bid forward for that plane. There are some 700 and some 900s that are shaped a little differently in the back, where you have a little bit more space and you're not touching shoulders with the passengers. There's actually like a space between you two, but you're still in the back with them. So I don't like that. So I always bid for the forward on that plane. There's some cities, like my girlfriend just got transferred to Fresno, and she used to fly out of Chicago. We're out of Chicago, we fly American, Delta, and United. When she transferred to Fresno, now she flies Alaska, Delta, and United. Or it might be just Alaska, because she lost her American benefits because they don't fly American from in Fresno. Y'all tripping. Um, so that is that as far as the how I'm trying to explain the salary wise and how you can maximize your hours. Now, Dallas is slowly growing. They just took 23 people to Dallas. So in February, 23 new people will start in Dallas, which when I look at their seniority numbers, they're all over me. So now my seniority is going to drop down 23 people because all those people were above me. Hopefully, I still get to keep my line, because I don't want to be back on reserve. After I got a taste of having a line, I don't want to be a reserve anymore. Because that means I can't control my schedule and I'm going to have to be in Dallas longer than I want to. That means I'm going to have to get a crash pad. Right now, I don't have one because I don't need one. Well, a lot of things are changing as far as domicile, so I wouldn't say you wouldn't get it, but I will tell you this is the fact in Houston and why I took my name off of the Houston transfer list. So I've spoken, even today, I've spoken with a pilot, and I'm working with an IH crew. And one of the guys, the aft on this trip, he is based in Houston, and he transferred from Boise, and he's on reserve here, and he's been with the company for over a year, and he was originally based in Boise, and he transferred to Houston. Did he? No, he has a line now, but it took him a long time to get a line. But he said that it was times where he just sat around for 2 months in a row and they didn't call him and use him at all in Houston. And he said that the senior flight attendants that are based in Houston right now, they all bid reserve because they know if they bid reserve, they're not going to get called. So they bid reserve so they won't get used. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Because, yeah, I could be based at home. I can get Houston eventually if they ever open it back up or take one or two people. They took 5 people this time. No, 4. They just brought 4 new people in February. And I could have gotten Houston. My seniority was over them. But I took my name off the list because I want to work. I don't want to sit. Now, if I had a husband and all this stuff here, and I didn't need to work and I just wanted to use it for my benefits, and I can just sit around at home and sub or do something here and not work, then I can just come to Houston and just get my 76 hours and be done. But the way my bank account's set up, it's not going to work for me. I need the coins, and 76 hours is not going to get it. So I chose to go somewhere where I can actually work, and not sit in 6 day buckets and never get called. And then I can't even go get a part time job anywhere, because what if they just happen to call me and I'm at my part time job that I can't leave? So that is the thing about Houston. So if your family is here and you got stuff going on here and you want to be in Houston and you don't care about making anything over 76 hours and you just want to be home, that's great. Don't say I told you not to come here. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that you won't get used a lot unless some things change. Houston used to be a really, really big base, they said, and then they lost the contract. And so it's they only have like 47, maybe 50 flight attendants, in Houston, and so it's real senior based. Dallas is moving up to 200. It could possibly get larger, especially with all these classes happening. They didn't take anybody to Chicago this time. It took 5 people to LaGuardia, and that basically was it. But they have to be sending these people somewhere. I mean, they got all these classes lined up. All I know through March. So where they gonna go? They gotta go somewhere. But we do also have a high turnover because people think one thing and they get into the job and then they don't like it, or it's not what they thought, or they miss their boyfriend, or they miss their dog, or they miss being home and they can't go partying and they can't do this, so they quit. Real, and so we have a high turnover. And then people use it as a stepping stone also to go mainline, which is great too. So you get in, you learn the business, you see what it's like, see if it's something that you can do, and then you decide to go apply with a mainline. So that's wonderful too. But there is a high turnover. So we got a lot of people, a lot of classes. When I last looked, there's at least 200 people already in class or scheduled to be in class. So that's 200 people. They're going to have to put them somewhere and they still filling up. So that's just what they have now so far. I ain't mad. Come on. That just means that my seniority gonna go up, so I'm not mad at all. Y'all need to hurry up and graduate. All y'all need to pass all these tests. Don't be failing. Don't be bull coining, and do what y'all gotta do so y'all can get sent to where I'm at, so that I can move up and keep my line. That's what y'all need to do. Any other questions? Forgot what was that? Who was that? Someone asked about they lived overseas and they wanted to know could you choose what where you were based out of. You're welcome. um because they were going to be commuting. Now it's hard for me to commute 4 hours drive to Dallas. How you going to commute from overseas? I mean, that's a lot of flying. That's a lot. I don't know how anybody is going to do that, but if you try to do it and you can get it done, more power to you. But I don't see how that's going to happen the first year, especially maybe once you get up in seniority. Class number 3 is January 23rd. Dang. Wait, so they started one on the 4th? Okay, so they must be doing it like every 2 weeks. Because someone else is starting at the end of January too. Because I know when I went in April, there was already, class that had graduated. And it seemed like every week a class was graduating and a new class was starting. Okay, class number 4, January 30th. So they are doing it every week. So by the time class number 1 should graduate in February, they should be the first class to graduate. And then class number 2 should be graduating right behind them. So, okay, I see how they're doing it. I see how they're doing it. That's good. Come on. February, I want to be coming to some graduations. I need some invites to come to some of these graduations so I can pin y'all at the pinning ceremony. And then I need y'all to come to Dallas so my seniority can move up. I need to put Dallas number 1 on y'all list. They're going to give you within the first week. I don't know how they're doing it now, but it was like within the first week. It might have been for the second week for us. And they gave us what they called your wish list, your wish trip, list. And it was just all the domiciles and you had your name with all your classmates in the seniority order, and you just had to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, next to the cities that you want, like is this your first, second, third, 20th to your 20th choice. And you won't know what you get until I found out 2 weeks after I graduated. Um, some people found out the day of graduation, some people found out the day before. So there's really no way to tell. What happens is we put in transfer requests on the 10th. Transfers are awarded between the 1st and the 4th. So depending on when your class is and when you graduate, is going to probably determine when you can find out what your domicile is going to be, because they have to award us our transfers first, and then you guys they can determine how many people they need in San Diego, LA, New York, or whatever, and then they look at the list, and then they go by seniority. So, and you can't turn it down. You can't say, well, I don't want to go there. My kids, my boyfriend, my school, whatever is here, can I? No. Either you're going to go or you're going to quit. Crash pads. In the crew lounge, a lot of people post memos about crash pads. And also there's several Facebook groups about crash pads that you can join. And so once you get your domicile, you can say, hey, I'm looking for a crash pad here, there, whatever. But know this, a crash pad is temporary. It's not your apartment. You don't live there. You can't bring 20 bags with you and a case of groceries, because that's not your place. It's temporary. It's for you to lay your head, to get some rest before your trip. No, it's not confusing because it's on your trip sheet. So you know in advance. Um, for me in Dallas, it's going to be easy now because we only fly American. So I'm going to have one uniform, just my American uniform. Of course, I still have my others because I pick up trips out of Houston, and I can be flying Delta or United out of Houston. So, of course, I still need all my stuff for Delta and United. And then once American is getting new uniforms, Delta has gotten new uniforms. So we're going to get new uniforms. Originally, we were supposed to get our Delta uniforms now. But since American got new uniforms and they're going to be rolling out their uniforms, they put a hold on it because I think they're trying to figure out what they want the regional carriers to wear. Because originally we were going to go to purple dresses like Delta, not the purple dress that they wear, but another purple dress they were going to come up with. And your choice was the purple dress or the pantsuit, which I don't like neither one. Have my big ass looking like Barney in some purple dress and purple pantsuit. But you can't. I was gonna have to wear the pants because I need my battery. I have a tattoo on my leg and my foot, so I have to wear opaque tights. So if I wear the dress with Delta, they don't want you wearing. You have to wear nude, flesh tone hose. So I couldn't wear that. So I had to wear the pants so that I can cover my tattoos. So then we were supposed to start getting measured for that at the end of December, and then they were going to roll out. Yeah, the purple is pretty for you skinny women. Ain't nobody trying to walk around here in no big old purple dress. Let me put this battery in here. All right. And that purple purse is the bomb. Ooh, that handbag is bad that you get to carry. So it's a completely different uniform altogether that would have to be worn, or just the scarf would be different. All right, so our uniform is the same. In training, you're going to get fitted for either pants or skirt, no dresses. You have to buy your own dress, unless someone, and they have a closet that you can buy like used uniform pieces, or pieces that people didn't get at the end of the day of graduation. You can buy extra pieces for really cheap. That's how I got a lot of my pieces. I went to the closet and I just bought stuff. But your choices that you're going to get are your winter coat. Um, they have two different type of pants. They have a pants with no belt and a pants with belt, and a skirt. You have your shirts, and you have like you can either get like a sweater vest, like a V sweater, or you can get this other type of sweater, or you can get a vest, or they have this top like a Gillette. It's called the Gillette. Why is this not working? Like a Gillette top. You can get that. So they'll give you your options, and that's what you're going to go home with, those little pieces that you have. Then United gives you a scarf. Um, you can get a scarf for United, a scarf for American. The men get ties. And if you want a scarf for Delta, you have to purchase it, because Delta does not require you to wear a scarf. So if you want to wear a scarf for Delta, you have to purchase the scarf and wear it, but you don't have to. Delta, we wear the white shirts. American, we wear white shirts. United, we wear blue shirts. And then our regular uniform. In the winter months, scarves are necessary or mandatory for United as well as for American, but not for Delta. Um, and that's basically it. But then when we get our new uniforms for Delta, we don't know what's going to happen, because it's purple. So we're like, well, we're going to have a whole new uniform for Delta. And then now American is getting a new uniform, which looks totally different. So we're like, are we going to get a different uniform for American to actually have to have a different uniform for each carrier? Because that's a lot. So we don't know what's going to happen with us, if they're going to come up with like a new uniform that kind of coordinates with all of the airlines. Like our uniforms now are navy blue, and then our accessories are different. Um, so we don't know what's going to happen. You guys know more than I know once you get in training, because you guys will get all the new information of what's what when you get there, especially about the uniforms. But I did read that they were pushing back the Delta rollout for us until the end of 2019. So we'll know more about that. But I'm going to be stuck wearing that pantsuit, since I can't wear the dress because I have tattoos um, on my ankle. So I can't wear the Delta dress. Plus, I have belly and butt, and I'll be looking like a pregnant Barney in that purple dress. So that ain't cute. So I'm not too enthused about that outfit altogether. And I don't like the pants either. But when I see the flight attendants, especially the men, oh my God, those men look so fine and sexy in those uniforms. They look so dapper and GQ. They look so good in their uniforms. And I've seen some very nice looking women in those Delta dresses. They look so classy and elegant. Reminds me of like Marilyn Monroe or Jackie O type of dress. They look so cute on them, but they ain't gonna look like that on me. I saw someone got red. Oh, okay. So what is red for? What happens? You know how pink is for breast cancer awareness. So Delta has a pink dress, and they had a red dress at one point that you can wear for a special occasion. It was something that you can wear it for. So every now and again, you could see a Delta flight attendant in a pink dress or a red dress, because they had rolled that out for a cause. So like in October, we can wear pink scarves, we can wear pink accessories for breast cancer awareness, and Delta does have a red dress. They don't sell it anymore, but if you have one already, then you can wear it. I like the red dress, but I just can't do the purple. I'm just not ready. I'm gonna have to do some crunches right now to get into that dress at the end of the year. Oh no, I don't even like we have a cute dress that I like. I'm debating on buying it, and it looks really cute on some of the ladies or whatever. Um, but I'm gonna have to do some. I'm gonna have to go on keto or something and lose some belly before I can get in that dress because the belt sits high up, like right up underneath your breast, and so my stomach is underneath my breast. The high, my stomach don't sit on my lap; it sits high up. So I'm gonna put this belt across my belly. I'm gonna look a hot mess. So no, I'm not. I'm gonna wait on the dress, even though it's cute. I'm just gonna wait on it. Plus, it's too cold for the dress anyway. But we'll see what happens when it comes to the uniform. I didn't get the skirt either because, like I said, I have a butt and I have a high butt. So when I put the skirt on, one she was like, "You need to get two sizes bigger because of my butt," and then it was sticking up in the back. One side was this way and the front was this way. I'm like, I look a hot mess. Where am I going in this? So I didn't get the skirt, and they don't want you to tailor it too much. Boots. You can wear boots. You need to get them approved. So if you have some boots already at home that you're thinking about wearing, even in now or later, bring them to training. I'm not being hard on myself, girl. I'm telling the truth. I'm owning it. I'm not sugarcoating anything. Now I'm sexy as all get out. You can't tell me I'm not. But I know I can stand to lose a few pounds. So I'm just being real. I'm not, I know what looks good on me and what doesn't. But I'm sexy as all get out. You can't tell me that I'm not. If you did, I'm telling you a lie. Because I am. But I know what looks good on me and what doesn't. That's all it is. You know how you go somewhere and you see somebody and that's a cute outfit, but they don't need to have it on, and they friends let them out the house like that, and they ain't telling the truth. You ain't got to tell me the truth. I know what looks good on me and what doesn't. Let me see what else. I like the pants. The pants. There's one pair of pants. It's a high waist pants with a belt, and then there's a low waist pants without a belt. Um, Yes, I own mine, honey. I have to own it. I am not in denial. Let's see what else. Oh, the boots. Take them to training. You can't wear shabooties with dresses, only with pants. Um, so if you have some shabooties, whatever you want to call them, you can't wear them with dresses or the skirts. You can only wear them with pants. Your boots can only have, like if they have like a buckle or something, that can only be silver or gold. So it can have rhinestones and all that stuff on it or whatever. Um, so just take them with you to training if you have any questions, and then they'll tell you yay or nay. I think you can even wear thigh-high boots, but if I'm not mistaken, it should be in your packet about the boots. Because I've seen some girls in some thigh-high boots, and now they wasn't the hooker thigh-high boots, but they were like, flat boots that would kind of, go up to your thigh, because it's cold. So, and they were cute, but they wasn't no 6-inch thigh-high, boots and nothing like that. I think you can even do that. I'm wearing boots now. Um, hey Devon, thank you. Um, you could, I have on boots now, and I'm in Duluth, and it's like 27 degrees here right now, and it's snow everywhere, and it's cold as hell. So I wore my boots, but I didn't bring my snow boots because when I leave here tomorrow and I land, I'm going to Miami, so I didn't want to be carrying a whole bunch of. I'm already gonna have a wool coat. They're gonna be looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, where is she going? It's 90 degrees in Miami, and I got on a wool coat and gloves and scarf and everything else. Well, thank you, Nerman. Is it Nearman? Nearman? Training packets say nothing over the knee now. What? So they didn't change that because we could wear. over the knee boots with dresses, and I see a couple of girls that do. So they done changed up some rules. Now what they did say about boots, it was like a certain length, like they couldn't be with dresses, like there was no booties, and then they couldn't they couldn't be like mid calf. Either they had to be booties with pants, or they had to be full length boots up to your knee or over the knee. Now they couldn't go all the way up your thigh to your butt, but right over your knee. So they didn't change that. What else the packet say that's different? What else can't y'all have? That's just different. Are they making y'all learn airport codes in the packet? Because we ain't have to do all that. I had to learn that one airport code. And just think about it. We have a lot of airport codes, and you're flying for 4 separate carriers. So you might be in Chicago. You might not even use a certain airport code. Your packet is emailed to you, right? It's not mailed. And I think it's 10 days before your training date. So if your training date is not coming up soon, you probably don't have it. So we didn't have to learn our airport codes, and then we didn't have to memorize no announcements or anything like that, because we have a device that we use for our announcements. Do I have it? Let me grab it. All right. So on day 1, after they do the tattoo check and you pass your little test, they're going to give you this little bag that has this device in it. They used, before us, I think in 2018 they got these devices. Before this, and it's dirty, they had the screensaver on it. Before they got this, this is your manual. They actually had an actual manual, like paper, like 500-page manual that they had to carry around, and it had everything in it. Thank God I missed that, because ain't nobody trying to lug no book around like that. So they came out with these devices. This is eFad, and it's gonna come in a little thing like this that you have to carry with you. And tell you this little thing has to be on it. This is your emergency evacuation book. This is going to come in, and you have to have this. This is part of compliance. You have to take this with you to training every single day. And if you don't have it with you, guess what? You go home. So when you get to class, they're going to say, all right, compliance check. And what they're going to check for? Watch. And they're going to make sure you have on the right watch that you're supposed to have on. It can't be a smart watch. They're going to ask to see this. They're going to ask to see this. You have to actually turn it on. And it has to be charged at 80% every morning. 80%. And this is the first thing they do in class. So let me open it up. You have to go to your battery. And I've been working, so mine may not be at 80%. Let me see. Mine's at 100%. Oh, it's on the charger. You have to have it open like this where they can look at your battery. This has to be charged to at least 80% every morning. You're going to take this out to show them just like this. They're going to ask to see this. They're going to ask to see this. Passport. A working flashlight. This is mandatory every day. Watch. And you have to have a $20 service fund, but they're not going to ask you for that. That's something that you have to have once you start working. So this is every single day. So don't be that person that come into class and they close the door, say class at 8 o'clock. They close the door and it's like, okay, compliance check. And you going through your stuff, trying to find your flashlight. Your flashlight is in one bag. Your passport is in one purse. Your eFad is not charged and all that. Every day when you come to class and you see your name tag on your seat and you put your bag down, take out all your stuff that you need. Have it sitting out ready to go. So that's the first thing they're going to do. That way when they come by, they're just doing this. And if you digging, okay, I can't find it. Let me check my flat. I hated that. I really did. That irritated my soul. Because we do it every single day. So why you not ready? And people have gone home for not having their device charged and their stuff. This is every single day they're going to check up until graduation. And it's mandatory. Don't go get one of those flashlights that you need to charge up. You need to have a battery flashlight. This little thing came from the dollar store, but it worked. I haven't had to change the battery since training. This is my same battery from training. And they come in like packs of 4, different colors or whatever. I got the small one because I keep all this stuff together in my little pouch, and I can stick this inside my purse. But this is something, and then when you go through a surprise line check, like if I can land tomorrow, well, I'm based in Dallas, so they're not going to do it in Houston, but if I was going to Dallas, they can be waiting for me when I get off the plane and say, line check, and they're going to ask me for all this stuff. They're going to look at my e-fab, make sure it's updated, and gonna ask me where my $20 cash fund is, and I gotta have it. So that's something you gotta have with you every day. I have my interview Wednesday and Thursday. Good luck. I remember that. Oh my God. Someone else just asked a question and I missed it. How you go back to the questions? You know I'm new to this technology stuff. So I can't see. It was after that someone said they had an interview. Someone else asked something. How does it pop back up? Somebody type something so I can see. I don't want to push the wrong button. Let me see. Is that it? Oh. Ooh. Some messages. Okay. At training, do we have one roommate or two? And where is my hub? Okay, now how I get this back down here? Okay. My hub is Dallas. And in training, you're going to have up to 4 roommates. 4 combined, including you. There's no way you don't know who you're going to room with. You can't suggest a roommate. You can't call them and say, can I room with such and such? You know when you get there. So everybody's coming from just all over different states, and your flight might be coming in at night. So people start trickling in the morning. So whoever gets there first is first come, first serve. So when that person gets there and go check in at the lobby, they have a clipboard of everybody's name who's coming in. They have the room keys already made. Your roommates are already assigned. They give you your key. You go to your room. If you're the first person there, then you choose what bed you want, what drawer you want, what room, all that is first come, first serve. So you might get there 9 o'clock at night because that's the next available flight they can get out of your hub. And you get there and you have 3 people in the room that's already chosen everything, and you just get in where you fit in. Everything can change daily. My first night, it was just me and another woman. She got there first. It was only a 1-bedroom with a pull-out sofa. She had the bedroom. The bathroom was inside the bathroom. We had a little kitchen, and I had the sofa bed on the outside. We went to training. We went to first day of training the next day. She failed her test. She went home. I had the room to myself for a couple of hours. And then next thing I know, they moved me to another room because they're going to maximize all the beds. No one is going to have their own room. So if you in a room and it's 4 y'all and 2 people fail for whatever, then they're going to either move 2 more people in your room or they're going to move you in another room. So if there's an empty bed somewhere, someone's going to be sleeping in it. What they say? I missed that last question. Why is not coming up? Live all messages are visible. Somebody just sent the message. Oh, But what did you do for food during training? I cooked. I'm a cook, so I cooked. And I was on a budget, so I couldn't go out to eat like that. I was laid off and I was getting unemployment, so I didn't have a lot of money. So I went to the grocery store. So the day that you check in, they're gonna have a clipboard at the front desk for a Walmart or a Target run, whichever one they're gonna do, and you sign up for it. And then they're gonna take you to Walmart or Target 3 times while you're in training. And so I went to the store and I bought groceries. And I just bought enough to last me so I wouldn't, just in case something happened and I failed and I have all this food. And I cooked. Um, and I took my lunch. Training days sometimes was 14-hour days. So you had to take your lunch, breakfast. Sometimes you had to be at the training center 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning, and the hotel does serve breakfast, but breakfast starts like at 6 a.m., so you might miss breakfast because you have to be at the training center already. And then there's no kitchen in the training center, but there's refrigerators, and there's coffee and tea, and there's microwaves. So I took my lunch so that I could eat. And then at night when we got home, sometimes it was late, not 10, 11 o'clock at night, and you just wanted to shower and go to bed. So I always cooked. And me and my roommates got along really well, and we shared. If I cooked for everybody. I even invited classmates over and say, hey, I'm cooking. Come over and get something to eat. There were a couple of young ladies who came with nothing. They had like one duffel bag, no, only one suit, no money, parents, family, nobody sent them with anything. And I'm like, hey, you, as long as I'm here, you like my child, you like my children's age, you can eat. So come over here and get you some lunch, come over here and get you some breakfast, and come over here and get you some dinner, because you're not going to be here not eating anything until we got our little training check. So do you have any issues with your roommates and your food? I didn't. Other people did, but I didn't. And the only thing that we had, but we talked when they moved me from my first room. I had to share a room with another young lady. We had our own beds, but we had to share a room and to share a bathroom. And the other lady had the room to herself. And I snore, and I like watching TV. She likes quiet, and she doesn't snore. The other girl liked watching TV, and she snored. So we end up giving that girl the room to herself and the bathroom to herself, and then we shared. I was older than both of them, but we got along fine. We held each other accountable. We set our alarm. We did not leave one another. We made sure everybody was up. You can sign up for a shuttle, like you might want to take shuttle 1 or shuttle 2, depending on what you want to do. And we would wake each other up and say, hey, you need to get up. Um, if somebody was lagging, running behind because of whatever reason, I was like, what you need? Where's your stuff? Let me pack it for you so we can go, so everybody can be on time. We didn't leave each other, and we held each other. We were each other's accountability partners. Um, so there were some people who oversleep, and then you were like, well, who is your roommate? And I'm like, it's not my responsibility to wake nobody up. I'm only responsible for myself. She should have got up. I don't like that. So we didn't do that. So we were fine. And then there was a couple people who had issues with their roommates because the roommates were not sociable people. They were the only child. They were used to having things to themselves. They didn't have to share. They were used to certain things a certain way, and they just didn't get along because your personalities clashed. And I'm like, I think someone came in and she was late, and everybody had already chosen their rooms in their bed. And one person was told, well, you can't put your bags in the closet because the closet is my closet. This is where I'm going to go for my private time, because I'm used to being by myself, and I want to come in the closet and just have peace and quiet. And you can't use this restroom. You're going to have to go use the other restroom because I don't like to share. and she couldn't turn the TV on in her room because the person didn't like the TV on. So I'm like, she got the right roommate, honey, because she wouldn't have got me and told me none of that. You can't be that way when you have to share quarters with people. These 31 days, all that is out the window. You are no longer the only child. You are no longer this loner person that likes to be by yourself in peace and quiet. For 31 days, that is over. So you can't come in there telling folks what they can do. I'm sorry, you just cannot do that. You can't go in and tell another grown person that they can't turn the TV on, or they can't put this on this shelf, or they can't use this half of the closet. It's a walk-in closet. You mean tell me I can't put my stuff in the closet? You mean tell me I can't use the restroom while I'm gonna do my hair and put on my makeup? You cannot do that. So please don't be that person. Because you're gonna mess around and get somebody like me who's gonna put you in your place. It's just no. Please don't be that person. Go in there with an open mind and make friends, because you're going to need those people. You're going to need those same. Y'all going to need each other. Y'all going to really, really need each other and rely on each other. For 31 days, you're not going to really be around your kids, your husbands, your boyfriends, your sisters, your brothers, your family, your best friends. You're going to need those people. You're going to be with those people from sun up to sundown. You're going to form relationships and friendships, and y'all going to really depend on each other. So please don't be that person. But don't be that person. So what do you do in a situation like that without being a tattletale? Don't be a tattletale. Just handle it on your own. I mean, you grown. You got to be at least over 18, I know, 19 to get this job or whatever. We had some tattletales. We had people in our group who were always worried about what somebody else was doing. Um, yeah, I heard that some airlines people have their own room. They don't have to share it. That's awesome. We ain't had that luxury. Um, and that's probably why they do it, to cause confusion. But I think that we do it because they're looking to see what kind of person that you are, that you can work with other people, because you're going to have to work with people at some point. um I'm not a tattletale person, nor am I a confrontational person. I can be a little flip at the mouth, and I'm outspoken and I'm blunt, but I'm not rude and bitchy to the point where I'm going to curse somebody out and talk to them badly. How were you able to stay awake and study after getting out of class? Oh, that was hard. Um, you just have to, when you grown, you have to be able to just, me and my roommates, we sat down in the living room and we laid everything out. Say, okay, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is what I do, this is what, and we compromised. That was it. You don't have to be that tattletale person. Just don't be that person. And I say, if it gets to a point to where it's confrontational and where you feel like you want to fight somebody, then, but just know you're risking sending yourself home too. They ain't gonna send one without the other. So if it's two people there not getting along and causing havoc, they gonna send y'all both home. They're not gonna send that one person. So you're just gonna have to suck it up, basically. Um, Coming in late after training, it was rough because we were always studying, and you have tests every freaking day or every other day, um, or every week. So you were always studying something. So when we get in late at night, most of the time we got in late, we had a later showtime the next morning. So you were able to get some type of sleep. So it was kind of hard. I didn't take Sudafed in training. I took Sudafed when I started working because of my ears. So when I was in training, if I broke out in hives, I did take some Benadryl sometime after, to help me sleep because I would break out in hives. But I didn't take Sudafed. Somebody else said something. Don't go off on anybody. And I got a non-drowsy Sudafed, so no, it didn't make me drowsy or sleepy, because I can take that before a trip. Like if I had to, I would take it in the morning, like an hour. Like when I get up to start getting dressed, I would take it, and then it would, last me my whole trip. But I'm not. I don't even have to take it anymore. That was when I first started flying because my ears were bothering me. I mean, I couldn't even touch this part of my ear. That shit would hurt. I really need to wash my face. Don't be going off on people. I think you just need to be able to have adult conversations and talk to people, and just don't be in that mess and drama. No, I mean, I don't know. She told that girl she could not use that restroom. And yes, Texas girls, play that. She had the right one. Somebody just inboxed me on Messenger talking about not sure why I divorced them. I ain't never been married. They must have got the wrong person. Um, what was that about an IOE? Can you travel while waiting for your IOE? Yeah, you can if you want to. Your benefits start while you're in training, so you can if you want to. Just don't know when you're going to get your IOE. So you're risking going somewhere and then checking your email, and your IOE is scheduled, and you go on vacation somewhere. So it just depends on how soon they're going to be scheduling these IOEs, how fast they're going to get them in. From what I've been hearing as far as bases are concerned, LA, San Francisco, San Diego, Phoenix, all those bases over there in the Pacific. I hear LaGuardia is easy. You can get a line in LaGuardia, and it's probably because it's high as hell to live in New York, and people go there to get a line, but then they leave out. Yes, your flight benefits will work for your family. They can come to your graduation, your pinning ceremony on your benefits. Just know you have to pay the annual fee for them. So, like, your mom and dad and your kids automatically go on your benefits. If you want to add them while you're in training, once you have access to for all that, take a copy of their birth certificates and your birth certificate with you to training, because when you go and try to add them in, it's going to ask you to upload those documents. So I had mine. I took copies, and I just used my phone and took a picture of it and uploaded it, and then they added them. So my mom and dad and my kids are on my benefits. Your 26-year-old granddaughter cannot be on your benefits unless you illegally adopted her and she's now your child. It's only your mom, your dad, your children, and if you're not married, you can have a companion on all carriers. So in training, you automatically going to get Delta and United automatically. So you can add one companion on Delta and two on United. It's $100 annual fee for the first companion and a $200 annual fee for the second companion on United. You don't pay it, you make them pay it. If you're gonna be my companion, you want to follow my benefits, you need to give me $200. You need to give me $100. And you can either have them pay it, send Cash App, you Venmo you the money, you pay it, or to come out of your paycheck. Your children, if they're not in school, for Delta and United is 23. For American is 24. If they're in school, full-time status, then it's 25. Your daughter won't be able to go on your benefits at 26, but you can add her as a companion. Because like my son is 23. When he turned 23 September of 2018, he fell off of my Delta and my United benefits instantly on his 23rd birthday. And he had graduated college, so I didn't have no transcripts or nothing to show them that he was a full-time student. Had I had something proof that he was still a full-time student, he still could have been on there. But he had finished school, so I didn't so he fell off of my Delta and my United. But he's still on my American, and he's still on my Z fare because he's 23. In September of 2019, he will fall off of my American, and he will fall off as my dependent, and I won't be able to Z ferry him on any of the airlines like Southwest, KML, JetBlue, Spirit, or whoever, because he'll be 24. But I added him to my United Companion Pass, so when he falls off, he already has my United right now as a companion. So that way he won't be without any type of benefits. But if he goes back to school, get his master's degree or something like that, then I can add him. I can just send them his school stuff and they'll add him back on. Supplies for training. Paper, pen, notebook. The packet that they sent you, that you I took that packet with me, but you're definitely gonna need a binder, because every freaking week they're giving you a packet that you're going to be studying, and you can go put a hole, they have hole punches there, and you put a punch in and you put it in your binder. Highlighter, pen, pencils. If you're the type of person need flashcards, you take some index cards. Hey, can I do what? Oh, hey, Jonathan. um you could do just that, like you're going to school. Pen, paper, pencil, um, eraser, highlighter, um, index cards, and a binder. You can take the stuff that they send you in your packet. You can, like, I cut out my little study stuff and I made flashcards. I laminated them and I had study cards, from the stuff that they sent me. I don't even know if I ever used it when I was there. How cheap is it to fly internationally? Um, I can say that I've only bought one international ticket, and that was for my son when he went to Latvia. That's in Estonia, that way towards the Baltic Sea. And I just did that. So he flew out of Houston Intercontinental on KML, or is it KLM? One of them. KLM, is it? KLM. And then he flew from Houston to Amsterdam, and then from Amsterdam he took Air Baltic to Riga, which is in Latvia, and that ticket just from here to there was $183. How early should I arrive to the open group interview? Doors close at 6. That's completely up to you. You definitely want to get there early. They will close the door on time. So what happens at the open interview session is you don't know how many people are going to be there. So when you go in, they're going to have a table set up. It's going to be however many recruiters there. And you're going to go take in your resume and sign in. They're going to ask you, had you applied online already? And of course, you should have already done that. And then they're going to measure you for your height. Once you do all that, they're going to tell you to go wait in the lobby where everybody else is sitting. And they're watching you. So you're mingling, talking, getting to know people, blah, 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 blah. So as you sign in, though, is when it's time to do either your face-to-face interview or the group question or answer, they're going to go in order as you sign in. So say there's 300 people and you 299, and all 298 people are going to go ahead of you, giving their 60-second speech about why they want to be a flight attendant or what makes them a good, whatever question they're going to ask. So I would get there a little early so I can sign in early so I can go before everybody else go, because I don't want to hear 100 people tell they whys and whatever. I want to tune all that out. So I wanted to get mine out of the way, and that's it. Now, if you're the type of person who want to go listen to what everybody else saying before you can figure out what it is you want to say, and that's on you. I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to get it. As a matter of fact, I wasn't even. Yes, your family will have to be on standby for if they use your benefits to get there. It's not positive space. Um, You know what? Don't quote me on that. Ask that in training, because in training, they did ask us how to give them the names of the people who were coming. We can only have two people each. And then say, like, I didn't have anybody come. But if my friend needed 4 tickets and I didn't use my two, then she can use my two. But you know what? They were not positive space. They were flying non-red, because I remember when I was leaving to go home, there was a family and one of my classmates who couldn't get on a flight because they were flying standby and the flight was full. So no, they will be on standby. Um, so you go in order as you signed in to do your little spiel. And what I remember, I probably had, I don't know, 10 so people in front of me. I was like this. Anything I can think of not to listen to them. I didn't want to hear what they had to say. And I was trying to act like I was engaged and that I was paying attention, but I was tuning them out in my head because I didn't want to mess up my thought process, because I had already had in my head what I wanted to say if they asked certain questions. So if I would have listened to what everybody else said, it would have thrown me off. And then I didn't want to repeat what somebody else was saying either. And it seems like, oh, she just heard her say that and she gonna say the same thing because it sounded good. So that was me. So when you get there and sign in, that's the order that you're gonna go. So you're going to sign in, they're going to do your height, and then you're going to go wait, and you're going to call everybody in, and they're going to give their little spiel about the company. They're going to talk about the policies. They're going to answer, a few questions or whatever. Depending on how many people are there, they can answer. They just can't sit there and ask them questions all day because they have to get out of there. So 3 p.m. I'm in LA, so sure it'll be a large group already. Well, get there early, honey. Go, whatever you have to do. Even if you get you a room now, you can take a nap or something. I don't know. But I'm just telling you now. However, the sooner you sign in, that's how soon you gonna go. They're gonna do their little spiel about the policies and the company or whatever, and they're gonna give you an opportunity to leave. So if you heard something during that spiel that did not resonate with you, and you can't make the training date, you ain't gonna pass the tattoo check, whatever. You don't like the salary, you don't like something you don't like. After they do their spiel, they give you an opportunity to exit stage left, and you can go home. And then they say, give y'all a 15-minute break. You can leave. And then those who come back are the people who are still interested. Before you left for that break, they say when you come back, we want you guys to answer whatever question they're going to give you. So those who come back in the room already know what kind of question. I'm like, thank you all for coming back, blah, 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 blah. Thank you for staying. They might even give you another little break after that and tell you the question. I'm not sure I can't remember if they gave us the question before or when whoever came back. I think it was whoever came back in the room. Then they told us what the question was and they let us go to the restroom, and then we came back. And then we went, because it started off with like 30 something people in our group who came for the open call, but only 12 of us came back in the room, and all 12 of us got face-to-face interviews. Somebody else said something. How long does it take to start your first official day? But when I went Why is this not popping up? They didn't go in order. What? So for me, when I went there, they went in order. Um, However you signed in. But again, it was only a small group of us. Now I've heard of interview sessions that had two big old rooms and they had half people over here and half people over there. So if that's the case, something like that, it might be different. But for us, they called us in name in order as we signed in. So it could be different, but that wasn't what I experienced. After IOE, how long does it take to start your first official day? Okay, so after your IOE, you're gonna have 2 days off because that gives the instructor enough time to turn in your paperwork to say you passed or you failed. And so you for sure will have 2 days off, for sure. And then that's when you need to be back in your base. And they're not going to call you. You have to be going on this thing or logging into your computer at home and checking your schedule. And then you'll see that you have a trip on your schedule. They don't call you, they don't walk you through it or nothing like that. Once you pass your IOE and that paperwork gets turned in, then they put the trip on your schedule. It's up to you to get to where you need to be on time. So if you based in Chicago and you live in LA and you went home for right after your IOE and then you home for one day and then they put on your schedule, you need to be in Chicago on this day. You got a trip on your schedule. You flying to wherever they sending you to Minneapolis on whatever, then that's when you need to be there. And so they don't, and it's up to you to fly non-rev to get there. I want this thing to stay up. 8 in your group interview and 3 of us got the CGO that you know of. Some people could have got it and turned it down. Or do you know for sure they didn't get it? I'm up like I don't have to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning trying to do something to this head. My body is thrown off. I can't just go to sleep at night like that. I just can't. I'll be up until it's time for me to get dressed and sleep on the plane when I'm on my way to Miami. I was like that last night. Like I had to be at work. I had to be up at 4 a.m. to get dressed to be at the airport for 6:45, and I didn't go to bed till like 1:30 in the morning. Don't be prepared like that. This is what happens when you prepare. And I'm speaking from experience. You have this whole spiel in your head of what you want to say, and you don't even know what question they're going to ask you. They can flip it up because people go on Indeed and Glassdoor and they give all these answers and stuff out, and they can just say, you know what, we're going to ask something else. So it's going to throw yourself off. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was prepared. Let me tell you what I did. All right, so I had applied at every airline you can think of, even Emirates. No, my big ass wasn't gonna get hired at no Emirates, but I was just desperate. I was applying everywhere from in my early teens on up until my mid 40s, and I think I had like 3 face-to-face interviews ever in the whole span with United. Never got hired. I had video interviews with some of all of them, never got hired. And so I was like, what the heck am I doing wrong? So now I have 3 girlfriends who've been flying for United forever in a day since we were like 19, 20 years old. And now 3 of them are actually recruiters. Um, So I called them and I was like, what am I saying? What am I doing wrong in my interviews? Because my hair is done, my makeup is done, I'm dressed in a suit. You know, what I'm saying, I'm doing something wrong. So not as my friend, but as a recruiter, What am I doing wrong? Right? So one of them just was straight up honest with me. And she told me, she said, I looked at your video. I knew they weren't going to call you back because you interviewed too strong. You're, and I was like, what? She said, you're too professional. That don't even make any sense. And she said, you were too, as a matter of fact, and too poised, and she said I wasn't smiling, I wasn't energetic, I was just like a typewriter, just this, and I was like, you know what? I was, because I'm used to corporate America, working in the hospitals, and you have to be a professional, you have to dress a certain way, you have to say certain things. Here is totally different. I wasn't myself. I wasn't bubbly. I wasn't energetic. I wasn't, I was just too freaking serious. And I was too rehearsed on the questions that they were going to, that they asked, that I was thinking that was the right thing to say instead of just being myself. Oh, okay. Oh, that's sad. Oh, I would hate that. Um, so I was like, okay. So when this opportunity came up and I went to the interview, I called and was like, look, all right, look, I'm too old for this. This is my last chance. This is my last time ever applying for an airline. I'm going, and I'm not going to make the same mistake I made all those other times or whatever, whatever. As a recruiter, tell me what it is that you guys look for, whatever, whatever. So she gave me a little tip or whatever. And so I went in and I had certain things in my head that I wanted to say that were true and factual. I just didn't want to forget them because I thought they would be important. And so that's why I didn't want to listen to what everybody was saying, because I didn't want them to make me forget my train of thought. But for that particular interview, just over prepared. Yeah, so what I actually did, like some people got up, they had a piece of paper. I took some notes. I'm gonna read off of my notes, and I want to be blah 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 blah. And they read off the paper because I didn't want to forget. I mean, she got the job, so it didn't hinder her anyway. But I got up there and I talked to them people just like I'm talking to y'all, my true, authentic self. And I just said what I wanted to say. And I was just in my head, I was like, if I don't get a job this time, I'm not applying no more because I'm too old. I'm just gonna be done with it. And I was just being myself and my personality, and that was it. Um, Went home. They told us that that particular class was starting in a couple of weeks, so we were going to hear something fast because we only had less than 3 weeks to prepare. Um, so we were going to get an email that same week. Mind you, this is a Tuesday that I went. So they were like, we're going to hear something this week. Well, one of the girls who I sat with, she happened to do individual eyelashes. And we were like, well, hey, we both get training. I want you to do my eyelashes at training if we get the job. And she was like, okay, cool. So she gave me her business card. And um, Wednesday came, Thursday came, Friday came, Saturday came, Sunday came. I just kept checking my email. Just kept checking. Nothing, nothing, nothing was there. I would go to my spam and I would type in the search bar Sky West. No, there were some 60-year-olds in my class. So, but I was just saying, I've tried so many times, I wasn't going to do it anymore. I was done at that point. If I wouldn't have got hired this time, I wasn't going to try it no more. I was going to give it up and just stick what I was doing. That's what I was saying for me. But no, I just was going to be done. And so I was typing in Sky West and nothing would pop up in my spam. So Monday came and I remembered that I had that girl's card and I called her and I was like, it's Monday. I hadn't heard anything. Had you heard anything? She was like, yeah, I got an email Thursday. I was like, oh man, I must didn't get the job because I didn't get an email. She said, did you check your spam? I said, I've been checking my spam. I kept putting in Sky West. She said, it doesn't say Sky West. So I went in, pulled up my spam, and lo and behold, what popped up? We are rescinding your offer because you did not respond to your CJO. I'm still on the phone with her. I'm like, what the F? Oh my God, they did, and I missed the email, blah, 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 blah. So I hurried up and responded back to that lady and said, this went to my spam. I didn't see it. Is it too late for me to still accept the offer? And she responded immediately and said, it's fine. You're okay. I'll put you in the next class. I had less than 2 weeks to get my passport, to get my stuff together, to leave. Less than 2 weeks. So when I came back that Tuesday from the interview, Wednesday I went to the post office to do my expedited passport. Why I get a thing in the mail from the passport people talking about they need further verification of my identity, and that I had to submit an old high school picture ID or an old college picture ID or an old driver's license and some other crap. I have all that stuff. So I went digging through stuff, trying to find stuff or whatever that I had old to show that I am who I am. So then I went and called the passport office, and Houston has a local passport office. So I made an appointment with them. Hey, I made an appointment with them, and I took all that stuff to them, and they said, we got your stuff right here in the system. We just need to transfer. You don't even need all that, and you already paid for it. So just come back tomorrow and pick it up. So I got my passport like that. But yeah, that was rough. And then I overpacked. I took all kind of crap to Salt Lake City because I didn't know what the weather was gonna be like. I didn't know what I was gonna need. I didn't know if I was gonna go out. I didn't know nothing. I had to ship 4 boxes home after training. I had to go to UPS and ship 4 boxes because while I was there, I went to the mall. They have a bad mall. Oh my God, the mall is so awesome. I went shopping. I went to Target, Walmart, buying crap. I had too much stuff. Um, so that was my experience. But I'm so excited for y'all because I'm just remembering what I went through and how excited I was. Oh, and then after you graduate and you have your little wings on, your little uniform, you immediately, go home after that. Like when you check out of the hotel that morning of graduation, you bring all your stuff with you. Some people left right after. I ended up having to go back to the hotel because my flight wasn't until later. So the hotel will keep your luggage in like a little conference room or whatever. You check out, and we're all in our uniforms. Yes, you need to apply with no fear. Um, See, former recruiter said I was right on point being yourself. See, I'm not just talking. Thank you, Skyboy. um. And so I had all that crap I had to send home. And you get to the airport. Is there a restaurant in the hotel during training for the days we don't have time to cook? You will have time to cook. You got a full kitchen. The restaurant has a happy hour. So, and they have less, hors d'oeuvres and stuff like that. But there's no like a restaurant where you can go order some French fries and stuff, a hamburger, nothing like that. But they do have a breakfast that they give you if your shuttle time is before the breakfast, then you can go get breakfast. If you happen to get back during the happy hour that they have on certain days, you have time to go eat the little free food. But you're gonna go to the grocery store so you can get your groceries and your snacks, lunch meat, Roman noodles, whatever you like to eat. Get that, and then right in walking distance of the hotel, like walk out the door across the street. You have a plethora of restaurants. You got Subway, you got pizza, you got sushi, you have Ruth Chris, whatever you want. You have Mexican food. All that is in like walking distance, safe walking distance. If you want to go there and you don't have time to cook. So there's a liquor store. Yeah, I knew I hit up that liquor store a few times. Um, McDonald's. I mean, you got it all right there. So you're gonna find something to eat. No, the room does not have a crock pot. I don't know if they had any to rent. You know how like some hotels have like different appliances you can go get. So no, they don't have one. So if you want to, when you get there, go buy you a cheap crock pot, because what happens is what every class does when they leave, everything that you accumulate, any groceries, anything that you bought, Tupperware, whatever that you bought and you don't want to take back with you, we donate it to the next class. So on our last day, we packed up all our crap, food, whatever, and we took it to the training center, and they have a table and you just put your stuff on the table and the next group of people come and get it if they need it. So I had a big like a gumbo pot because I made like a shrimp creole, and I left it there for somebody else to use. But I didn't spend that much money for it, and I wasn't trying to pack it on a plane. But that's what I did. So you want to buy you like a 19.99 crock pot, and or you can just donate to the next person. Then you can do that, because yes, a crock pot is your best friend. When you get back, your meat can be done. What else? I need to figure this thing out. So there's no restaurant there. Hardest part for me in training, um, I have bad study habits. I wasn't a study person in college, so it's like that was the hardest part for me, is the studying. And I can't study in silence. I need noise, and I can't study in groups, so I didn't really do a lot of group study sessions. I can't be with three or more people, was too much for me, because you got sidebar conversations and stuff going on. Now some of our evacuation drills and some of our other drills we have to do requires you to have a partner. So me and my partner would do our stuff together, and we would help each other out, and sometimes we did it as a group and we would help each other out. But at some point it gets to where you're trying to remember all these things, and then you got people telling you, no, that's not it, you should do it this way. I couldn't do all that. So that was the hardest part for me, is my study habits is bad. It's trying to get used to studying and not trying to alienate myself from people, but that's just how I can concentrate. I can't do a lot of people, and I can't be around a whole lot of noise. Yes, you are responsible for your own travel arrangements. If I'm not mistaken, let me think. No. I lied. So, the company will put you on positive space for your flight there and your flight back from training. But if you want to catch another flight or a later flight or an earlier flight, you have to cancel that ticket, and then you have to book your own using your benefits. And if you don't get on, then that's on you. So they will send you there and send you back. Like, I think my flight was, the graduation was over before 1 p.m. and my flight wasn't until like 4:30 or 5, so I had to wait. I could have found another flight, but hadn't used those benefits, and so I didn't know what I was doing, so I didn't want to risk it. So, um, what else? Oh, sign up when you get full access to your online your back office. Do your direct deposit while you're at training, so that you can get your training check while you're in training. Because if you don't, they're gonna mail it to you, and you in training, you in Salt Lake, and your check is at home. So what's good is that gonna do you? So you need to set up your direct deposit so that you can get paid on the 7th and the 22nd of the month. So do that as soon as you get access to your back office. If you're going to sign up companions, I think American is $50 for a companion, and I think Delta is $75 or 51. I think it's 50 or $75. You make them pay it. Don't you make that come out of your check, because your other stuff got to come out of your check. Um, if you have a husband, I don't think you have companions. Your husband is your companion. So it's only like for single folks like me. I got to have folks so I can fly with. And last year, I had one of my best friends as my companion. That trick didn't go nowhere. She was on my benefits from April until December of this year on United. And she never went no freaking where. She's off on the weekends. Yeah, set up your direct deposit. And I'm like, then she called me probably December 27th or something like that, talking about when my benefits end. I'm like, Kyle, you used to work for United, you know when the benefits end. And she was like, well, did you put me back on there for 2019? No, you didn't waste it. I could have had I could have met me somebody and put him on there and could have been traveling with some band, child, and you just sitting at home doing shit. I mean, nothing. I'm sorry. And to wasted your benefits that you could have been flying somewhere. And I didn't, so no, you're not on there this for 2019. And my other best friend, she's on there, and she has said she in LA right now. She went LA I don't know how many times, and she got hooked, and now she met some boo thing up there. So now she in LA every other week. So she utilized her. She got her little. What did she pay? Her annual fee was, since I started in April, her annual fee was like $83 because they prorated. But this year it's starting from the beginning, so it's $100. And she already paid that. She got my little password. She gonna book her own flight. She don't be bothering me, asking me to find her no flights. I sat down with her, showed her how to look at the flight loads and tell which flight she should get on and how many seats available and all that stuff like that. She do her own stuff. She don't bother me. She pay her little fee. I ain't gotta worry about it coming out of my check, and she is gone. She ain't playing. My mama ain't been nowhere. My daddy, he ain't going nowhere. He's scared to fly. My son and Ben, he has used it, but my daughter's 13. She can't go unless I take her. But we're going to Paris. Um, but my other girlfriend, and I have another friend on my American. He's my companion on my American. He's just a friend of mine. He's used his. So everybody, everybody else used theirs. What is this? Do they show you how to use Flickr device for swapping and adding trips, or do you have to just figure it out on your own? They don't show you nothing. Let me tell you, everything I learned about this and adding trips and stuff like that, I learned from meeting other people who show me. On your last day, they're gonna have somebody come in um, and go over your back office and show you what a schedule looks like, and that's it. You're gonna be so excited about getting ready to graduate and get your wings. That is the longest day of your life. I swear for God, that is the longest day. You're gonna be up in the back, rocking back and forth, drinking coffee, Red Bull, and everything else, trying to get through that day, because that is the last day. And when I tell you, people have gone home on the very last day, they families sitting out there waiting on them to come walk through with their wings on, and they didn't got sent home because they didn't fell asleep or forgot something on the last day. So don't get it twisted. You can go home the last day. That is the longest day of your life. And it's just drawn out with hours and hours of PowerPoint presentations that's going in one ear and out the other. And then it's so much, you can't grasp it all. It's just so much. And that's the one about scheduling and stuff. On your very, very first flight after your IOE, you're going to call crew support the first time and check in. They're going to check you in, but after that, you're on your own. And you do it from your cell phone, and you do it from here. What did he say? How So yeah, you. Why does the chat messages don't stay up here? My first flight alone. Oh, I was a nervous wreck. I was a hot funky mess. Literally, because I was on 200 and I was a hot funky mess. I was sweating. Sweat was dripping all down my nose, all on my forehead. I sweat on my forehead and my nose. And I was on 200. It was in the summertime because it was, May, June. And they gave me a trip on the 200. I didn't know how to set up that cart at first. I had shit everywhere. Nothing was where it was supposed to be. I was so nervous. Everybody looking at you. You send an announcement. You by yourself. You got your little device out and you flipping through it, trying to make sure you're doing everything right, making sure you pre-flight your plane, make sure everything is done. You got the captain and the first officer saying stuff to you, and you just all over the place. Everybody who I've talked to, I remember talking one girl off the ledge a few weeks ago because she was new after her IOE, and her very first trip after her IOE, her very first trip was an international trip on the 200. And I ain't know this girl. I met her in the airport, and then she follows me on YouTube, and she hit out. She called me because I gave her my phone number. She was like, "What am I supposed to do? I have no idea." And I was just, "I'm gonna quit. I can't do it." Girl, calm down. So I helped her through it and told her where to go, um, to find the information and stuff or whatever. But it was nerve wracking. Let me tell you, I got on that plane. I had shit everywhere. Just so happened it was a girl who was commuting, and she sat kind of close up, and I'm pushing my little cart doing my service. She noticed my cart was just not set up right, and at the end she came back and she said, "Let me show you how to do it so it can be a lot more easier for." And I was like, "Whew, thank you." But I was doing my announcements. It's hot. I got on this hot uniform that's polyester blend and burning the hell up, and sweat just dripping. I got a paper towel. I'm doing this. It was a hot fucking mess. I ain't gonna even lie. It's funny now, but we all go through it. And I did it. I made it. I made it through it. And then it was just like getting used to the chimes to figure out when the flight deck is calling you, make sure you're not hearing anything. Um, it was so funny. I can laugh at it now because I was just all over the place. Out, and then we had turbulence and people looking at you, you shaking, moving, and stuff like that. And everybody ahead of you just do like this and looking down the aisle at you to see how you're gonna respond. And you have to sit there and just smile. And in your head, you're going, "What the f is going on?" But you get over it. Now I'm used to it. Now the plane just be moving, stuff moving all over the place, and you just like, "Would you like to drink?" And they looking at me like, "How is she holding this coffee and holding this and she doing all this?" Because you get used to it. So it's now it's like second nature, especially if you got kids and you have to have car seats and you carrying grocery bags, car seats, baby bags, and diaper bags. You multitask, so you can do that too. But that's how I was. But that 200, boy, my first trip, baby, I was a hot mess. My preference of airline is Delta and American. I say that because all airlines is fine, but as far as my trips I like to work or Delta and American. To me, they're a little bit easier. United, you do a lot of stuff on your own. Like you have to clean. And when I say clean, I don't mean take no Clorox wipes and wipe all the seats and the walls and the toilets and stuff like that. I mean, you got to pick up trash. You got to empty the trash. You have to cross the seat belts after everybody get off. You got to make sure all the passenger safety cars are straight in order. So it's a lot. It's just a little bit more work. Usually, your flight crew, your pilot, and your captain are really nice about helping you do that at the end of your trip. But like if you're on an MST, which is you're late and you're already late and you have to quit, you have to get the people off the plane and you're gonna board just like that, then it's a lot of work to do. So I'm gonna say American and Delta because they have cleaners that come on after and they clean up everything for you. Um, yeah. So that's what I like. Thank you guys. Look, I can't be on here and be fake and then y'all see me in the airport and be trying to clown me. You don't meet a representative. This is who I am all day, every day. And I keep telling myself, nope, I'm not applying for mainline because I'm not trying to go through training for no 30, 60 more days. Nope, not going to do it. And I can't swim, and I'm not trying to be thrown in no water trying to do no ditch test. So that ain't finna happen. And I don't want to be on reserve forever. I like my quality of life right now. Nothing against mainline, because I ain't going to even sit up here and lie and say that I never applied, because I just told y'all I did. But now that I'm where I'm at now, I'm actually happy with where I'm at now. So, I don't want to, I'm not discouraging anyone from doing that, because I think it's a great thing. I mean, they pay damn good. But for me right now, I like being able to manage my schedule, still have time with my kids. Um, and I just don't want to be in the air no more. 3 hours and 30 minutes is enough time for me to be flying. Anything after that, that's too much. I'm not trying to do it. You can do it with UA. We don't have water, but yeah, but I don't want to be in reserve forever either. This 8 months that I was on reserve, Chicago was kicking my ass. I don't want to do that no more. I just don't. I encourage it. I will encourage anyone who wants to do that. Go for it. If that is your dream, please, pursue your dreams. I just, where I'm at now in my life at this stage, I'm happy. I'm content. I don't feel the need to go anywhere else. I will retire with this airline. They're gonna have to drag me kicking and screaming. What's that who is that? What's that song? And I'm telling you, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. They gonna have to drag me. TSA gonna have to come and get me and drag me off the tarmac. I'm not going nowhere. I can honestly say I've been working since I was 19 years old. I am the happiest I have ever been with any job that I've had, minus the radio station. But I can still do radio part time once I get my schedule together. Minus that, this is the happiest I have ever been with any job. It ain't even about the money. It ain't even about the perks and the privileges. Whatever it is, I am the happiest right now that I've ever been in my entire life. I finally feel fulfilled, like I'm doing something. Junior bases, I don't know. LaGuardia, Dallas is a junior base. I heard Chicago was a junior base, but shit, I ain't getting no line. So, um, let me see. Y'all know I've been on this thing talking for 2 hours. I act like I ain't got to get up in the morning. Um, I'm not sure. Y'all will find out in in training. They'll tell you what's junior now, because things probably have changed since I've gotten hired. Yeah, I watched some of his Skyboy SFO videos too. He all fancy and stuff though. He got a little intro, a little backdrop and stuff. I don't have all that. I don't have no Mac computer. I can't do all that old extra stuff. Can you help me out? That's too much work. I ain't got time for all that. It's cute though. You fancy. He is fancy. Y'all see his videos? Go watch his videos. I'm jealous. I felt like I was bootleg. I'm in the hood. He all upper class in the penthouse with his stuff. But he been doing this probably a long time. And it's funny because when I went to college, I had to do video editing for radio and TV broadcasting, but I hated being in the freaking lab trying to edit stuff. Thank you. I'm gonna graduate. I'm gonna be like you one day. I'm gonna grow up. I'm gonna be like you one day. I'm gonna get on your level. Oh Lord, let me get up too fast. I don't have no bra on. This is not what y'all want to see. Trust me. Thank you, Tara. Well, if y'all don't have any more questions, I'm gonna go ahead and get off now and go and take a shower and have to be 4 a.m. showtime. And two easy trips. Like I said, we're going to Minneapolis and then we're going to back to Houston and then I'm going to Miami, honey. I am going to be relaxing on the sun. Y'all gonna think I'm a size 6 because I done brought my swimsuit. I'm gonna be chilling on the beach. I'm not gonna care what kind of cellulite is showing anywhere, honey. I am gonna be out there living my best life. You hear me? Oh Lord, what time is it? I need to put this drink down. I'm running into my 8-hour drink time. You know you can't have nothing to drink 8 hours before your trip, so that was my last sip. Run out of time. All right, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. You have any more questions? Feel free. I think I put my email. I know I said my Instagram um, is Sweet Lady 38 SUITELEDY 38 because I can take inbox messages there. A couple people I've gave my phone number to and we've talked on the phone. I didn't get my Facebook out. Some people found me on Facebook. I don't know how this technology is the way it is, but I like to keep my Facebook private for my close friends and family and stuff like that. But a couple people are on my Facebook. I think Tara's on my Facebook. Um, I don't know if you can leave messages or email or send messages on Instagram, but as you can see, I'm real open and transparent and friendly, and we all about to be family anyway. So anything that I can help you with, I've shown people to how to go look for certain things on this device that they don't teach you in training. There's gonna be so much stuff like how to go pick up trips, where to go find trips, how to go check in on Delta, how to do a lot of stuff they don't show you. How you can tell when you're on reserve if they're going to call you or not by looking to see where you fall at. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you're not going to learn in training. Someone is going to have to show you, and I don't mind because someone showed me. It is going to make your life a little bit, easier. So when you guys graduate and you go into your mailbox on your back office, um you'll be able to pull my name up, search my name, and then you can email me. I don't care about giving my phone number out. It's no big deal, unless you some pedophile or something like that, or some murderer or someone gonna come after me. And I ain't got time for all that. But I don't care because we all about to be family, right? So we got to help each other. We got to be there for each other. You might be able to teach me some things or two, or whatever. So just reach out to me, however, and we can talk. I don't have a problem with that. I'm still new. Like I said, I haven't even been a year. April will be my year. So I'm still learning. And as I learn and get new information, then I can share that with you all. So I will talk to you guys another time. Good night.